Stay tuned for the Joan Quinn Profiles. Joan served the state of California as a member on the Arts Council and on the Film Commission. She was formerly on the Architectural Commission and fulfilled 2 terms on the Fine Arts Commission for the city of Beverly Hills. As an editor for Andy Warhol's Interview magazine, Condé Nast Publications, and the Hearst Corporation, Joan covered the world of fashion, the mysteries of food, the excitement of theater, and the international art scene. She continues to find people who are on the cutting edge of their professions. Here's Joan Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to the Joan Quinn Profiles. We're taping here in the Hollywood Museum in the heart of Hollywood, and it's the historic Max Factor building. Our guests are actor Jarlath Conroy, who lives in New York, and director Josi Mari Goenaga, who lives in Spain. Actor-director Jarlath Conroy was born and raised in Galway, Ireland, and attended the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in London. He's been a guest artist at Catherine University in Washington and Lee, is that right?
Catholic University.
Catholic, right.
Catholic University.
Catholic.
In Washington, D.C.
Right.
And Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia.
Oh, so I'm going to ask you what you did there when you were...
At Catholic University, I did a guest artist in a Hugh Leonard's adaptation of Stephen Davis, a piece called Stephen D. And I did a play. I was a guest artist with the acting students.
I see, with the students. Did you teach them anything while you were there?
I don't know if I did.
You have a beard.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a beard then? Do you always play? Because you kind of have played these old roles.
Well, I've become a sight gag.
Is that it?
So the beard helps. But I don't.
But it's your own, so you don't have to put on a beard.
No, I don't. And
right.
I think I want to change it now. But it's useful.
But when you've been on, say, Law and Order, NYPD Blue, you've been in lots of shows. What kind of roles do you play on those?
Well, NYPD Blue was a teacher. One of the Law and Orders was a priest.
Oh.
Another of the Law and Orders was a guy who works on the docks.
And you have a beard all the time?
No.
Oh, you don't?
I did not, no.
Oh,
No.
did you grow this beard for the new play?
Yes. I mean, I let it grow because they wanted it.
Okay, let's talk about outside Mullingar. What is Mullingar?
Mullingar is a town in the center of Ireland.
Is it some kind of like what you were talking about?
It's bigger.
A farmer? It's bigger.
It's bigger, but, you know, it's not a big town. You know, but it's,
right.
I have no idea what the population would be. But it's a quite a well-known town within Ireland, Mullingar.
It is. He didn't make up the name.
Oh, no.
No.
And he didn't make up the name Killucan either. Killucan is outside Mullingar, which is the...
Because those are kind of hard for us to understand in the audience when you
Yeah.
first come in, because I think this is Shanley's first play that really goes back to his roots.
That's my understanding, yeah.
So how did he come out? Let's tell me who the author is. I'm going to have you say it all in your Irish.
The author is John Patrick Shanley, who also happened to write the screenplay for Moonstruck.
Right.
And he is Italian and Irish.
Oh.
And he said, and this is all hearsay, he said he had explored his Italian side, so now he was going to explore his Irish side. And in that context, he took a trip to Ireland to meet his relatives and to be with them. And out of that came this play.
So this play is at the Geffen Playhouse. It's in the big theater.
Yes.
It's an ensemble cast.
Yes.
I would say 4 people.
4 of us, absolutely.
And who are they?
Dan Donahue.
Plays the young boy.
Yes, and Jessica Collins, who plays the woman. She plays Rosemary, and Robin Pearson Rose, who plays Aoife.
Aoife, that's so hard to say, yeah.
Yeah, and I play Tony.
And Tony, you're kind of like sitting there.
Yes.
How are you sitting there? Are you kind of grouchy?
I can be. Why? Did you think
because
I was?
It's actually, I love the timing. And the timing is so important, isn't it? The way you say your things.
Yes, yes.
And the way she reacts to you.
Yeah.
Who directed it?
Randall Arney. He's the artistic director of the Geffen.
And
we had a great time.
Can you feel the audience?
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's
Absolutely.
really close, isn't it? It's a
Yeah.
big stage, but
Yeah.
you're close to the audience.
Yeah, well, and in the audience is another character in the play every night. You have to listen to their energy.
Did Shanley come out? Did you meet him?
Yes, met him on opening night. He came out for the opening. He wasn't there for rehearsal.
He's charming, isn't he?
He is, yeah. And he seemed to enjoy this production thoroughly.
And because it has been in other places. Just a little bit, I said you're kind of grouchy. I think it was the timing. Is that a comedic kind of timing that you have? Actually, I mean, it's not comedy, but it makes us laugh.
Yes, yeah. And that was one of the keys I think we discovered in rehearsal, was that to go after laughs, to go looking for laughs on lines, is not necessarily the best way to approach this material, because from that point of view in the humor, it's very reliable. And Randall would tell you that the last scene between the boy, the man and the woman, that last scene, they were never sure until they got an audience how they were going to respond to that.
So does that change every night too?
To a degree. The story is always the same. It's the same story we tell, but they'll laugh in different places. This morning we had an 11 o'clock performance for school kids.
Oh, I think that's so great, because they do outreach there at the GEF, and I think that's wonderful. You did.
We had a full house, and they were very, very responsive, but in different ways than the evening performance.
Because of the age, right?
Absolutely.
And they haven't, probably, I'm assuming, they haven't been connected to a small town or with this dialect.
I don't think so. Although the theater itself has a very good program. They bring this same group back to see each of the plays. So they've got something going on there. I don't understand that whole program, but it's very good.
But the students have never been in Ireland. They don't know what a small, like protecting your property coming in, like you have to.
Yeah. They might understand that, because it's pretty well spelled out, but they wouldn't necessarily have experience of it. But the way Shanley has written it, it's pretty well clear what the issues are initially. And then, of course, the play becomes something else.
Yeah, it does become something else. Are you going back to New York?
Yes.
Do you have another play lined up?
I have, in March, I'm supposed to do Beckett's Happy Days at the Yale Rep.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And so you're going to rehearsal right away?
No, March.
Oh, you don't go into rehearsal
It's in
till
March. That's the plan.
Okay.
We'll see.
Well, we're glad you're here.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Jarlath. Glad to have you.
Great.
And don't go away, because from San Sebastian is our director, Josi Mari Goenaga. Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome back to the Joan Quinn Profiles. We're taping here at the Hollywood Museum in the historic Max Factor building, and our guest is filmmaker, director, Josi Mari Goenaga, who studied business in San Sebastian and then film. What film school did you go to?
I went to a film school next to San Sebastian, which was named Sarobe. Now it's closed, but it was a really interesting place to start in this job.
Where were you born and raised, Josi?
Well, actually, I was born in Ordizia, which is a small town, 40 kilometers from San Sebastian, but I grew up since I was 9-year-old in San Sebastian.
And so you went to all your schools there?
Yeah, that's it.
Did you go to university there too?
Yeah, I went to the university in San Sebastian to study business administration. And then afterwards, I made like a kind of 4 months studying in Manchester in England.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
that's why your English is so good.
No, I don't think it's that good, but anyway.
Oh, you studied there?
Yeah, but only for 4 months and a half. So, yeah.
But the difference from being like accounting and business, and it just doesn't seem to go with filmmaking.
Yeah, that's it. Well, actually, I didn't expect to be working in the film and in the movie business. You know, I love cinema since I was a child, but as a spectator, as a viewer. So when I finished the business administration studies, I said, okay, I have like two chances. I mean, I can go and find a job, or I can study this art that I like so much. So I decided to study, but just to know more about this art, not to be working in that.
Oh, just to know about it, and that's
Yeah.
where you were in the film school. That's where you
Yeah,
went to
that's
film
it.
school. And then did you meet another filmmaker there?
Yeah, that's it. When I was in the film school, I met 5 people, which are now my partners in our production company. So that's how everything started.
So your production company is Moriarty.
That's it. Yeah.
And how did you name that?
Well, it was like a kind of brainstorming. We spent like 3 hours or 4 hours saying different words, and finally somebody said, "Okay, why not Moriarty?" And what is Moriarty?
Right.
And it's like the enemy or the nemesis of Sherlock Holmes. So we said, "Okay, it sounds good." But then we changed the spelling of the name because Professor Moriarty is with a Y at the end of.
Oh, it was Professor Moriarty who was always after Sherlock.
Yeah, that's it.
So then with your company, did you start making short films?
Yeah, well, the main purpose when we started was 5 of us, each one had like one idea for a short film, and we wanted to direct it. So we said, okay, we can help each one in different roles. So in one short film, maybe I was the producer. In the next one, I was the director assistant, and that was the way we started to work.
It's like an ensemble company for the theater, really,
Yeah,
right?
that's it.
Because when you work in that, you all have to work together.
Yeah.
And it gave you opportunities, and you learned the business.
Yeah, that's it. We started with the short films, then we started to do documentaries.
You did a documentary.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
First of all, what were the subjects of the short films?
Well,
Your short
yeah,
film.
I had a short film that has something to do with flowers, with the film that now we are.
And this film
introducing.
is ready to go to the foreign film Oscar group, right?
Yeah, that's it. We are
and
fighting for
it's the first Basque language film ever to be presented to the Oscars.
The Basque language for us is really important to be as the Spanish entry for the Oscar. This is for the very first time.
I know.
And everybody in the Basque country is like
they're pulling for you.
Yeah. We seem to be like a football.
Oh yeah, like
team.
right.
We have to win.
So what was the beginning, the short film that led to Flowers?
The short film was about it happened in a highway toll, and and it was about a woman who is singing a song that is in the radio, and then we see a man next in the car next to her. That's he sees this woman moving her mouth. So he switched on the radio, and he discovers that the dial where the song is playing. So then they start to communicate through the radio because he calls to the radio and he starts to talk to her through the radio.
And you have a scene in Flowers where she's going through and he tells her to turn on a certain
that's it. That's
radio
a kind
station, right? But they know each other already, right?
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. So tell me, before we get to more on Flowers, I know you were nominated for a Goya with Lucio. What was that film?
Well, this documentary was about a Spanish man that has been living for the last 60 years in Paris. He was an anarchist, and he started to fight. Once he was in Paris, he started to fight against Franco's regime and Franco's dictatorship. So he started to produce forge. Is forge or not?
Forge, yeah.
Yeah, fake documents, passports, and everything. And finally, he managed. He started to forge travel checks, Citibank travel checks.
Wow!
So he managed to take from the Citibank like a kind of $18 million.
He was
in
an
the
actual,
70s.
he was an actual person.
Yeah,
You based
yeah,
this
he's
was
real.
He's real.
Yeah, and he actually lives. He's 84.
Oh, wow.
But he's a real character, and he's a kind of Robin Hood. You know,
Yeah.
he took the money from the bank to give it to different causes. So.
What a great subject.
Yeah,
you were
he's
also
great.
nominated for, that was in 2007, and you were also nominated for an animated film.
Mm-hmm.
What was that subject?
Well, the subject was kind of they were like tramps, from the animal kingdom. There was an alley cat. You have like a pigeon and this kind of a rat, and so it was a story around them. It was a film for children.
Did you write it?
Yeah, I co-wrote it with another man, and then I co-directed. Although I don't know anything about drawing or painting, but I was more in charge of the storyboard, the sound, the music, and all
well,
that stuff.
There are all those things involved in Flowers too, and it's been played in many festivals. Where has Flowers shown?
Yeah, well, it started...
Invited, I should say, right?
It started in the San Sebastian Film Festival.
Which is a huge film festival.
Yeah, and it was really special for us because we are from San Sebastian and we have grown up attending this festival, and we have learned many things about movies going to this festival. So when they told us this film was the first Basque language film being in competition in the San Sebastian Film Festival.
It has a lot of firsts. You co-directed it with John Guarano, right? And so you're both from San Sebastian.
Yeah.
And so you have big groups behind both of you, right?
That's it. We were well supported.
That's right. Where did you cast it?
Well, the casting is I think that is one of the main strengths of the film. We are really happy with the three main female characters. They are the protagonists of this story.
And tell us who they are.
One of them is Nagore Aramburu. She's a really well-known actress in the Basque country. He not only acts, she's a director and writer, most of all for TV or theater. So he understands very well our job too, so it was very easy to work with her and to construct her character together. And then we have a 70-year-old woman who is Itziarra Ispuru. Actually, she was the main character of our previous movie.
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
What was that movie?
And that movie was called For 80 Days.
I see.
Yeah, and we were really happy with her.
So you took a chance on her because she was new to acting, you said.
Yeah. Actually, our previous film was her first experience in a movie.
Is that right?
Yeah,
so how did you cast her? How did you know she would work?
Yeah, she was doing TV. She was acting in a soap opera, first of all, but she started when she was 60-year-old. So once she retired, because she was working in a shop, so
she was working in a shop?
Yeah, and when she retired, she decided, okay, I would like to act. So she started in a soap opera in the Basque Country, and then she started in a sitcom. And when we started with the audition, she came and we loved her since the beginning.
She was so great in Flowers because I thought you didn't do what people in Hollywood do. You didn't try to get rid of her wrinkles. No. She had wrinkles and she had character in her face, and she was like tough. She was great in the part. And the third woman?
The third woman is Itziar Ituño. She's very famous in the Basque Country too, because she's one of the main characters in that soap opera that I was talking about.
Oh, I see.
So she plays, or she used to play the character of a police woman. And, you know, I think that she's like a kind of a strong woman, but when you know her in the reality, she's really sweet. So
she could stand up against the mother-in-law character.
Yeah.
She just knew what to do. Where was the location?
Well, the location was in the Basque Country, San Sebastian and surroundings. And it's funny because when people see the movie, this is not the image they have from Spain, because they always think that Spain is sunny
like
and
California.
dry.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, the north of Spain, from Basque Country to Galicia, is really green.
It was very green, but it was very wet. You had a lot of rain. Did you actually film during those rain scenes like that?
We didn't expect to have that much rain. I mean, there were some sequences where we needed rain, and that was in the screenplay. But then we put the camera, and sometimes you have this rain, so you have to work with that.
And they worked very well with that?
Yeah, I think that it was really good for the atmosphere we wanted.
Yeah, the clouds came up, and it was really like
because,
you knew.
It's a kind of melancholic film, so this rain fit really well with the story.
Yeah. How long did it take to make?
It took us like 6 months of
preparing.
No, 6 weeks of pre-production, then 6 weeks of shooting.
Oh,
and
it was.
Yeah, and then we had like 4 months for the editing. We wanted to take long for the editing.
You did this documentary before, so you love documentaries. It had that feel of a documentary to me.
Yeah. I think that in the editing we worked like in the documentaries. You know, you have some material, and then you have to rewrite the story or restructure it.
So, what did the flowers mean? What did the flowers mean?
For us, we always say that the flowers are like a kind of a blank canvas, you know, where they by themselves they don't have any meaning, but depending on who is the person that are watching or seeing them, looking
or receiving,
at them, they project different feelings. I mean, depending on their frustrations, their desires, their fears, they see them like something happy, or they see them like something dangerous.
Oh, because also flowers are at funerals, so you're very sad, or they're at weddings and you're very happy, right?
Yeah, and it has to do with life and death too. You know, when somebody in Europe, when somebody dies in a car accident, people leave flowers in the place they passed away, or you take flowers to the cemetery. So they had to do with death. But at the same time, they have to do with love. So it was kind of interesting.
Or both, love and death.
Death, that's
both.
it. Yeah.
Both. Well, I'm so glad you came today. How do you like California?
Wow, California is fantastic. Actually, I was here 4 years ago for 3 months, studying a little course in UCLA. So I had a great time. The weather here is fantastic. So we have been enjoying it very much.
I'm so glad you came to visit us today at the Hollywood Museum.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for watching. Keep writing to JAQUINN1 at AOL.com, and we'll see you next time.